For most of my life, Labor Day meant one thing: back to school. And I know in our area today, some schools went back this past week and some are going to open this week. But every Labor Day, as a former teacher myself and a student as well, I still get those butterflies and the excitement. Most of the years was exciting, some years were not so exciting. But it still does something to me. And I was thinking, after reflecting on today's three readings, I was thinking of reframing an invitation to all of us that goes something like this. For those of us who are striving to succeed and even pass the course Spirituality 101, there's an opportunity in the Gospel and our other two readings to advance not just to Spirituality 1.02, but to Spirituality 2.0, a significant upgrade for all of us in our spiritual thinking. I offer today's readings, all three of them. They give practical advice and straightforward advice how to do so. When we listen to Jesus' words in today's Gospel, we hear how he rightly criticizes the Pharisees for lip service and not for heart service. He comes down really hard on them for stressing externals without any attention to the internal qualities of one's heart. Now, what that says to me, and I offer this for your consideration as well, is this question. During my regular attendance and participation at Mass, am I giving money, my attention to the poor, and when I kneel or sit or stand in prayer, is my heart really in it all the time? Or am I simply paying lip service, as Jesus says? Am I honoring, as he quotes Isaiah, am I honoring the Lord with my lips, but my heart is far from the Lord? And in vain then do I worship the Lord. Think first of your prayer, as I did mine. Common liturgical prayer like participation at Mass, or participation in our morning prayer, or evening prayer, or any other common communal devotions. Are our hearts in it? Or are we simply going through the motions? Now, as one who participates in the common prayer experiences here at the Abbey, and we have three of them every day, morning prayer, Mass, and evening prayer, I have to admit that many times my heart is any place but there. My head is on Mars, so to speak, with distractions. So I guess I would have to say that in situations like this, I very well might be paying lip service to the Lord. So where's your heart, Richard? I ask myself. And it's at times like this, in all honesty, that I fall into the trap of self-denigration, thinking how far I am from the ability to truly worship God with all that I am. But am I? Is this experience really an opportunity to advance to another level? I think it is, because it starts with the recognition that we're not there yet. And that's crucial. That's crucial in our spiritual growth. I was talking with a very sincere man in confession once, and he confessed that he was distracted during prayer. Then he said, Father, let me tell you, some of these distractions are really, really inappropriate. And without even thinking, I off the cuff responded, I have the same experience. And I went, oops, probably shouldn't have said that. But then I advised him what celebrated writer and spiritual leader Ron Rolheiser says in his book, Sacred Fire. He says this: when you have these distractions, offer even these up to the Lord. So I said that to this guy. He said, well, that's really hard for me to do. And I further said that, well, I can understand that, but if you don't feel comfortable offering the distractions up to the Lord because you feel they're so inappropriate, offer a simple prayer, a simple recognition that says to God, Lord, I am here with all my heart. I am here trying to be sincere. I am here with all that I can muster up. Tell God that the pressure on your knees that you feel from kneeling, or the pressure on your rear end that you feel from sitting, or the pressure on your feet that you feel from standing, they all demonstrate that you want to be in union with God. Not easy to do, but I think it's a great suggestion by Ron Rolheiser. And then there are our works of charity, whether they are an outright gift of money, or a symbolic nature, or simply listening, giving of our ear, our attention to someone who's challenged by whatever. One might find her mind drifting away from listening. And if the listener has a hard day, or is really concerned by an issue in her life, but to be sure she really can't concentrate. So I ask myself, and you, how much of myself is in this act of giving? Am I doing it for some sense of satisfaction, or out of pure charity and love for the other? And in my own case, I have to honestly admit, oftentimes I do charitable things because God wants me to do that, or the church expects that of a Catholic priest. Maybe you could relate to that. Well, today, friends, what Jesus advises in so many words, make sure what's inside of you is clean before trying to clean the outside. To me, he says, make sure my motives are pure and singular and directed as much as I can. And again, that's not easy to do all the time. St. James told us in our very first words of our second reading today, all good giving and every perfect gift comes from above. Well, our giving is not perfect, but it's real. It's real, nevertheless. So in conclusion, are our acts of prayer and charity meaningful? Absolutely. By making sure that our motives are pure and our hearts are aligned with these actions as much as they can, they are indeed pure, if not perfect. And so what do we do then when we find that some of our charitable acts or moments of prayer fall far below the righteous level? Very simple thing, as Rolheiser advises. Offer that to God. Tell God that you are here. Admit to God that my acts are not perfect or even complete, but the intent to be sincere, nevertheless, is there. As Mother Teresa is reportedly to have advised, it's not perfection that God's looking for, it's fidelity. So, this is the way to advance from spirituality 1.01 to 2.0. Our syllabus is clear, and in reality, it's very simple. But in its simplicity lies its challenge. And the challenge is all about our hearts and where they are. May the Lord bless each of our hearts this day, and all of our actions, with every intention